what's up everybody, welcome back to Path of Exile, and today I have another build for you guys that I've been messing about for a week or so. Just, you know, gearing my character, checking what works, what not, and pretty much just enjoying doing all sorts of mapping and trying to get to Awakener 8, because I've never ever done Awakener 8, which is kind of odd. Never had the time to go so deep into the game. But at the moment I am awakening level 6 here. I just did Awakener 6 yesterday, and it was so easy. I could maybe do it blindfolded. Don't count on it, but I could maybe, perhaps. So today, yeah, what I'm going to show you guys is my Blade Vortex character, my Archmage Blade Vortex character, which is about level 93 at the moment, exactly level 93. And thought, I mean, yeah, what better time to do a video now that I've taken down Awakener 6. I've done all T16 corrupted maps, sextented maps with it, and also just cleared Delirium all 20 waves, and it was just super easy. If you take out the last wave boss, 20 wave boss, which kind of killed me a couple of times just because I haven't done all 20 waves yet, and I wasn't familiar with the mechanics. Right after I learned the mechanics, I didn't die once, so it's pretty easy actually with this character. So, and it's not a mirror tier character, right? It's not Herald abuse or something like that. It's Archmage abuse. Hopefully it won't get too much nerf. But yeah, Archmage and Arcane's CLOAK abuse, I guess. It's not abuse, it's just using these two, which really make our character really tanky and really nice to play. Decent clear speed, not really exceptional clear speed, because we are pretty small Blade Vortex, right? But thankfully we have, if we don't have Asenath's Gentle Touch gloves, we can use Obliteration once and then weapon swap if a single target comes near us. That's a cheap way to do it. These gloves are like 10x or something like that, so they're pretty expensive, but you don't need them. It's just for something to aim for when you get your money going, right? But anyway, this is a character that, you know, mainly focuses on mana. That's we have 3400 life, and I'm doing T16, fully sextented T16 maps with it, no real problems. And Awakeners, and full Delirium waves, and yeah, some people have questioned me, how are you staying alive? And that is all to do with our mana here, which is we are using Mind Over Matter, and yeah, this character is really tanky, thankfully. Plus, taking into consideration, we have almost maximum spell and attack dodge, which keeps us alive a lot better. But anyway, first of all, I'm gonna run this canyon map here. Let's even put Einer there, and let's even take some frags or something. Let's put some Shaper influence on the map, or maybe I have Elder. I have Elder also. Let's put Elder there, because makes more monsters there, right? Then what can we do? A breach, maybe 2 breaches, right? And let's add a. Can I add a legion also? I think I can. Let's add all these. This should be a pretty juiced map to give you an idea how this build works, right? And if we take a look, I have Awakening level 6, and I'm using sextented Watchstones here. So let's go. Hopefully I won't die. This map has pretty rippy boss actually, but anyway, this is how the build plays. So let's wait a little bit, and let's open this up, and let's hopefully not die. And as you can see, right now I have all my resistances maximum. I don't have it maximum by default, which is kind of odd. It's really hard to do, because I'm just using 3 slots for rares. So it's really hard to cap your resistances. But I'm using a Warcry. I'm not using it instant. I could anoint the instant node that makes my Warcries instant, and I can use it under left click and have Warcries go off all the time without me having to really think about it. But I don't feel that I really need to do that. My clear speed is fine, my survivability is fine, and I can hit Warcry every once in a while. And when I see my immortal goal pop, right, then that's pretty much says to me, push Warcry. So I can get my Enduring Cries up, which makes my immortal goal last a little bit longer. Plus, I know that I don't have any Enduring Cries, right? I don't have any endurance charges, sorry. But anyway, yeah, let's move on quickly because the Delirium is about to go. I kinda hate this league because I can't stop, right? I need to come back later to pick up all the loot. If I stop and try to pick up the loot, you know, then I'm missing out on Delirium stuff, right? But yeah, anyway, this is pretty much how the build works here. I mean, damage-wise, clear speed-wise, nothing too exceptional maybe, but it's like fully choose T16 map, right? Now I can put my wall skills as well here. Even got a little hiccup here. That's okay, because I have a 2080 Ti. I'm getting hiccups with 2080 Ti. Oh god. And I have a 20 core CPU. I have the i7 90. Damn, I don't even remember what it was. It had 10 cores and 20 threads. i7 90. Oh my god, I don't remember my CPU. It was a pretty banger CPU. And it struggles here. I'll put these graphs up. So FPS is 40. Latency about 30. Yeah, it's pretty decent to play. Let's try to take down the boss for a second as well. Oh, there's so much to kill. Some things that I could maybe look into would be maybe to get the area of effect a little bit bigger for our Blade Vortex, so we could clear a little bit better, right? But I mean, I still kill a lot, right? And the explosions that my gloves give me, you know, clear most of the stuff, right? But I am staying alive, which is the main reason that I wanted to make a proper endgame character. I didn't care that I couldn't maybe clear like T1 clear speed or something like that. I just didn't want to die, but I still wanted to clear with decent speed, right? Is this the boss? I don't even know. Oh yeah, it was the boss. Okay, I didn't see him. There's too much loot. Okay, now they're both dead, right? Okay, so that was the map boss. I don't know if you actually noticed it. It was a little bit tankier mob than all the rest here. But anyway, this is pretty much how the build plays. Super easy to play, super fun to play, super easy actually to gear, because it's not Herald Abuse, which costs you legitimately like an arm and a leg, right? You need to sell your body bars to actually get the build going. This not a lot, right? So I'm gonna end the Delirium here. It's gonna take forever, right? I'm gonna make this up, I'm gonna make that up. No big things, no big things. Hopefully I don't forget to come back for the loot. Anyway, that's how the build works. So I'm gonna go over everything here now, which is gonna maybe take a while here. But anyway, I'm gonna leave the path to building link in the description, so you can, you know, check it out, you know, maybe copy paste or maybe improve the build a little bit, you know. And if you find something that you've done yourself much more amazingly that I have done here, please let me know, right? But anyway, where do we start, right? So first of all, we are using Blade Vortex, right? I'm using, most of my gems are now 2020, some maybe 21, because I finally corrupted some stuff. But I am still leveling some gems, right? So there is some damage to be improved. I can definitely get even better scepters, I think, for damage-wise. Maybe even test out different stuff there, or check in BOB. But I haven't had any real issues that I've, you know, thought about, you know, okay, I need a lot more damage. Where can I get it? Where can I get it? I haven't, you know, done so. I've just, you know, checked for some crit chance, right? Max mana as much as possible, and some spell damage. So pretty simple stuff there. Plus implicit increased elemental damage, right? But anyway, I'm gonna go over the gems first, and then the items. So we are using Blade Vortex with Unleash, with Archmage, with Conk Effect, with Control Destruction, with Lightning Penetration. So this is the main 6-link setup that you can use, and try to get Cloak of Defiance as fast as you can, right? Yeah, I'm gonna go over the items later, but just buy it 6-linked. Buy it 6-linked if you're not League starting with this character, right? Or if you are starting the League with this character, then just use the 5-link prophecy and just leave out Lightning Penetration, or maybe, I don't know, Conk Effect or something like that, right? And leave it for later when you can afford a 6-link, and it doesn't cost a lot. But anyway, Blade Vortex, yeah, works really amazingly. With Conk Effect, of course, you can change it out for increased AoE, so you can feel a little bit better, but I feel I could use a little bit more damage, and thanks to, yeah, my gloves, I don't really feel that my clear speed would be that much better if I use increased AoE instead of Conk Effect here. But anyway, we are using Archmage, which gives us a ton of flat added lightning damage, and this is all to do with our unreserved mana, right? So getting more mana gives us more damage. So let's look. I have 30,971 here. I take Archmage out, I have 2,000. So this gives us most of our damage, and I have it level 21, corrupted it myself. But anyway, yeah, that's how it works. Unleash, of course, with any channel skill like Blade Vortex is amazing, because we just hit Blade Vortex and we already have 4 stacks, so that's a must-have with any this type of a build, right? For others, I mean, yeah, you can definitely check out some other gems, maybe if you feel like it, but this is the setup that I've been using here. Moving on to Arcane Cloak, which also gives us a lot of damage and a nice buffer. So buff grants added lightning damage equal to 14% of mana spent by the skill. So this means when you're spamming, you know, don't try to spam too much Blade Vortex when mapping, right? When you have your mana flask up, our recovery rate is really high, right? But we gain the most benefit when we use it at full mana. So boom, 104,000, right? If we use it like at lower, we won't get 5,000 Arcane Cloak here. We get it like 2,000 or something like that. So it does matter, you know, when you push Arcane Cloak. So just, you know, keep in mind when you're going around, right, killing stuff, when you see your mana is full, just try to hit Arcane Cloak. That's pretty much how I play, right? Arcane Cloak is supported by Arcane Surge, so whenever we hit Arcane Cloak, we gain Arcane Surge, which gives us a lot more damage, right? And with Second Wind gives us cooldown recovery speed, so we can use it more faster, right? And increased duration, so our Arcane Cloak actually lasts 7 seconds at the moment here. So that's the main setup, I'd say. Other things you can definitely play around here, but yeah, check out what I've been using here. So we are getting some power charges on critical hit, right? Which is linked to Stormbrand and linked to cast when damage taken. So when we take any sort of damage, our cast when damage taken will cast Stormbrand, right? And then Stormbrand will give us power charges. So that's the only point of it. You don't need to level Stormbrand here at all, right? And yeah, it gives us more damage per power charge, which is pretty nice. And we get, you know, a lot more critical strike chance. So that's a really nice setup. I really recommend this. Now another one is cast when damage taken linked to Immortal Goal linked to Blood Rage. So we get a Blood Rage here and we get Immortal Goal without us, you know, having to push the buttons, right? And I feel Immortal Goal is really strong with this build here. Because it gives us a nice, you know, damage reduction to elemental damage, which is nice, right? And whenever a big hit like finally lands in, right? And yeah, thankfully it mitigates a lot of damage. And as we're using Enduring Rise, we pretty much always have maximum endurance charges, right? And if I see on my head that it has been procced, right, I will hit my. It's like a triggering for me, for myself. Oh, okay, I need to push Enduring Cry, and I'm back to maximum endurance charges. So that's how I've been playing with this, and I really recommend this setup as well here. Moving on to some other stuff that I really like is the Spell Totem linked with Wave of Conviction and Calling Strike. So Wave of Conviction, of course, you know, a lot of people use it because it gives a great exposure, right? So enemies take more damage. And I really love using Calling Strike here because, you know, big fat bosses like Delirium Wave 20 bosses or, you know, full Delirium 100% maps, right? Those bosses have a lot of life, right? And those, you know, last 20 or 30% that the boss has, right? They might start doing some really sketchy stuff that might one-shot you. So I just hit totems down, get a lot more damage going, right? I don't need to use it all the time, right? But when I feel that the target needs some more damage, right? I'll hit my totems down, right? And I know that when the boss gets to low life, it's gonna get called, right? So I don't need to worry about that. I can even move away from him, and I know the Calling Strike will end his life. And unlinked here, Clarity, which is the only reservation skill which gives us mana regen, which is pretty important stuff here and helps a lot, you know, by recovering our mana rate. So let's see. This is without Clarity and Clarity on. It's a pretty nice buff. Moving on to the last setup that I have here. As you can see, I have Dash with Second Wind. So Second Wind is giving us +1 to charges and of course cooldown recovery speed. So we can dash really fast, and also was really lucky that 21-23 dash dropped from a map, so I didn't need to buy this. It's like an Exile or something like that. It's pretty cheap, and as you can see, I can spam it pretty much. There's a little off time, right? And it has 2 charges, so whenever I'm not using it, right, and the boss is doing some heavy damage, I can double tap and, you know, get double the distance away from whatever is hitting me. And I'm using dash travels 100% increased distance here. There's some other dash stuff as well that you can enchant, but I felt this was the best one. And as I found out that my character was amazing clearing Uber labs, and I farmed a lot of enchants, here my Herald character build that I'm doing on the side at the moment. Haven't played it yet, but most of the gear is gathered. But yeah, I haven't changed this enchant, but feel free to find something better that would work with this build. Maybe like Blade Vortex enchants or something like that, right? But I feel dash traveling 100% further is pretty good enchant. Anyway, so coming to the items as well, right? Before we move into the passive tree stuff. So I kinda, you know, quickly hovered over the scepters a little bit earlier, but yeah, pretty much try to get as much damage as you can, right? Feel free to, you know, tinker around, maybe use some uniques even. Something that, you know, fit your needs, but basically just try to get as much damage as possible out of it. And always try to find mana. Mana is, because our build is built on mana, right? And the other thing that is really important that I found out that worked really well with this character is mana recovery rate. So not increased mana regeneration rate, but mana recovery rate, which gives us a lot faster recovery rate of our mana. So these are like slight different things in Path of Exile. Path of Exile wants to make everything really complicated. But anyway, yeah, try to get mana recovery rate everywhere that you can, right? But as we're using just 3 rare slots, there's not a lot we can do except for the belt, right? And my belt isn't perfect, right? I'm using a cloth belt. I haven't even switched it out for a decent belt, right? But anyway, yeah, for the belt and for the rings, pretty much get T1 life, as much life as possible, as much mana as possible, and mana recovery rate or increased mana regeneration rate, right? And then look for resistances as much as you can, right? Because resistances are going to be tough to get maxed, and I still don't have them maxed, right? But as you can see, I don't have any real problems with it. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much what you do with all the rare stuff. So rings and the belt. Now moving on to the headset. Crown of the Inward Eye. So this is a helmet that drops from Cirrus, and it's a pretty common drop there, so really cheap. It's like 10C, or no, it's 5C. But try to get the increased maximum life and mana near to 21 as possible. 19% goes for like 5C or 10C or something like that. So try to buy those. I have forgot to do divination. I've done a couple of divination. I had a 19%, so that's my helmet at the moment is 14 because I used divination orbs and I hope to get 21, but it didn't happen. Divine orbs, I mean. Anyway, yeah, a great helmet gives us, transfiguration of soul, body, and mind. So max mana also applies to damage at 30% of value. We have a lot of mana, so it gives a nice damage boost. And yeah, max ES rate that we don't have, and max life also attack damage. So it's a pretty decent level because we get a lot of max life and max mana percentage here, plus the transfiguration of mind, right? But of course, you can try out some other helmets here as well. Don't be afraid to use them. Now coming on to the amulet, pretty much the only amulet for mana builds, right? At Series Foible, so 24% increased max mana, increased mana regen rate, and that's pretty much it, right? And flat mana, of course, as well, right? And don't forget to catalyst all your amulet, your rings, and your belt. So I haven't even catalysted my belt yet, but I have life and mana modifiers on my one ring here. I haven't even, oh my god. I guess I've forgotten to do these because these were pretty bad, and I'm trying to change them out to something better, right? And then I'm gonna use the catalyst, right? But anyway, a catalyst is pretty cheap actually. Even the life ones. Wait a second, where are mine? It was fertile catalyst, yep. So use fertile catalysts on your amulet, on your rings, and your belt. So moving on to boots. So using ARCANE. So I have no idea what it means, but anyway, it gives us 20% increased maximum mana, pretty much why we want them, and 2% chance to dodge attack and spell hits per 500 max mana up to maximum of 20%. And you have onslaught while not on low mana. Now, I've noticed that I don't have onslaught. I don't know if it needs to show onslaught here or not, or am I reading it wrong? But anyway, I like these boosts because it's 30% movement speed and max mana and a lot of dodge for attack and spell hits. And as we are using PHASE ACRO. We are using PHASE ACRO, so it goes pretty neatly with that as well. Anyway, last thing. So as an gentle dodge, 10x salt gloves, don't need them. You can use rare gloves or whatever gloves here. Actually, what I used was critical strike chance unique gloves that were corrupted with elemental weakness. I don't know if I actually have them here. Let me see. Maybe I have something to show you guys. Wait a second. Maybe I have them. Yeah, it was Kalisa's Grace. Anyway, sorry about that. So I was using Kalisa's Grace gloves with corruption of elemental weakness. So really cheap. Because with the corruption, they go around 30C. With elemental weakness level 12. So those were fantastic to use. So it kind of made up for the damage loss when I was using obliteration once. Anyway, so that kind of covers the items, right? Let's head into the passive tree here. Passive tree looks like this. And there's some pretty interesting stuff going on. And as well, we are SCION, which nobody ever plays. Hopefully it will get buffed in the next league. So we're actually going to be getting even more stronger. Maybe it'll, level it out when Archmage or Arcane CLOAK or something like that gets nerfed or something like that. If it gets nerfed, right? But anyway, I'm using Hierophant and I'm using Pathfinder. And Pathfinder because I can quickly get to PHASE ACRO, right? And also a nice cluster jewel socket here. Plus some nice life and mana nodes here. So pretty decent idea to go Pathfinder. Plus Pathfinder, gives us a lot better flash sustainability. Really important in tough you know, boss fights, right? If our build doesn't kill bosses in one hit, right? So I really love this. Plus, you know, some other kind of stuff like damage penetrates 6% of enemy elemental resistances, right? And 15% chance for Flash to not consume any charges at all. So it's some pretty amazing stuff there. And Hierophant, you know, +1 maximum number of summoned totems. It's actually pretty helpful when there's a boss fight. I can put one totem into one corner, one in the other corner. So I almost always have one totem staying alive, right? And I gain Arcane Surge when any of our totems hit or with the spell, right? But we do have our own Arcane Surge, so it'll overwrite this one. And 20% increased spell damage while we're having Arcane Surge, and 8% damage is taken from mana before life, plus 25% increased max mana. So that's why I went with Hierophant here. But anyway, moving on to the actual jewels, right? What jewels I'm using? I'm using Fevered Mind jewels. So 50% increased mana cost of skills, and the more our skills cost mana, right, the more damage we do. So that's pretty good stuff. And yeah, I'm using 1, 2, and 3 Fevered Minds in total, right? Plus, it also gives increased spell damage as well. So a great jewel to have. Other than that, I am using 1 Watcher's Eye, which is giving us increased mana recovery rate while affected by Clarity. And that 30% pretty much, right, is amazing for this build. So try to get this and maybe even get the double mod if you can afford it. It's not here, right? Any of my builds are never like really expensive, but they tend to do pretty high maps, which is pretty nice actually, I guess. And I'm using a Hypnotic Eye Jewel just for the flat fire damage to spells, which helps triggering our Cindersoul Urn, which, you know, recharges 1 charge when you consume an ignited corpse, pretty much. And enemies ignited by you during flask effect take 10% increased damage. That's the line actually that I wanted to show you. So 10% more damage pretty much from 1 jewel, which is not bad, right? And we don't consume corpses, I think. Anyway, moving on to Militian Fate. We are using the High Templar Venarius here version of the Militian Fate. So if you're buying it, look for High Templar Venarius, which gives us the Agnostic. So our energy shield is going to be 0, which is good, because we don't have any energy shield pretty much, right? And that's the only negative side of this Agnostic, right? But while not on full life, sacrifice 20% of mana per second to recover that much life. And this is an amazing recovery tool, because we have so much mana. Our recovery rate of life is really high all the time. So if you know, any hits do penetrate all our mana pool, right? So really great tool to get, and plus it gives some other neat stuff as well with the devotion stuff. Increased effect of non-dimensional ailments. But anyway, moving to the Gloucester jewels. Don't have them do much here. I might be changing some stuff up, maybe even using 2 of them. Maybe worth to go here, but I don't think so. Or maybe use voices with 3 sockets, so I can put 1 here even. But I do actually like this large cluster jewel. So with 8 added passive skills, right? And 1 is Overshock and 1 is Supercharge. And 2 added jewel sockets. So Overshock and Supercharge. Supercharge, lightning damage with non-critical strikes is lucky. Which means pretty much, I think, is that whenever we deal lightning damage, it takes 2 of our hits and allocates the highest hitting hit. Something like that. It sounds great. But anyway, it pretty much we're doing like a double hit, and only the maximum damage from those 2 hits is applied to the enemy. Right? And Overshock. Your shocks can increase damage taken by up to a maximum 60% and 30% increased effect of shock. So, I mean, I really like them, but maybe I might even change out Overshock. I don't know. I might fiddle around here a little bit. But anyway, moving on. Megalomaniac, which gives us a couple of really neat passives, like you see here and there. And openness, 30 mana, 20% increased max mana, and mindfulness, 15% increased max mana, and 80% increased mana regen rate while stationary. So work really well together. And here, liquid inspiration, increased mana recovery rate again from flasks. So our flask will recover much faster, which is really great. And 5% increased mana recovery rate during the effect of any mana flask. So I mean, really nice, plus maximum mana, increased maximum mana. And enemies you curse are unnerved, so they take 10% increased, well, 10% more spell damage. So that's what I've been running here, and something that I forgot to mention, I am using an enchant. This was my first enchant for my boots. 70% increased mana regen rate if you've cast a spell recently. So our spells, Arcane Cloak, right? And I think our spell totem should be a spell here as well. So that's when we're getting the benefit of this. Yeah, and also no dash was travel, right? Dash. Oh, it is a spell. So yeah, pretty much we're always have this going, which is really nice. So try to get this if you can. And yeah, that kind of covers the entire build here. I mean, most of all, I've been really enjoying the build, and it was super fun to gear. Didn't feel really squishy ever. Maybe a little bit lackluster of damage sometime. But I mean, Uberlap was a complete joke when I first did it, and then I was like, hey, wait a second, Uberlap was really quick on this character. I can do Uberlap in 3 minutes or something like that, and it's not meant for Uberlap, but it does Uberlap so quick that I just started running enchants. And first enchant was for my boots, got increased mana regenerate, and then I started enchanting Crown of the Inward Eyes, made a ton of exalts, and also got a lot of dash enchants as well that I kept and changed around and saw how they worked and kept the best one. And dash travels 100% increased distance is the best dash skill in my opinion. But anyway, that kind of concludes my build here. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments section. Anyway, I'm gonna be editing this video quickly for you guys, and yeah, enjoy Delirium League. It's like a month in now, even more a little bit, so not long to go until the new league comes to us, right? And this is a perfect build to play. It doesn't cost you an arm or a leg to gear. As you can see, perfectly fine, clears all the end game content, and I don't have anything really crazy going on in my stuff on my gear. Most of the times when I try to find a new build to play, I'm looking for some builds on YouTube or PoE Ninja, right, and looking at gathering ideas. Most builds are using so insane gear, so goddamn high damage rate. It doesn't really make sense. You can build it, but then when you get to end game, you're like, dude, this sucks. What am I doing wrong? And then you're like, oh, okay, this guy is using like 20 exalted or damage things or whatever, swords, weapons, whatever. And you're like, okay, 20 is minimum, okay. And that's for one weapon, so I need 2, so that's 40. Okay, oh, and there's a lot more stuff going on. Oh, and jewels, oh shit. So this build here shouldn't be that expensive, I think. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay safe there. Try to not touch anything when going outside. Use, I don't know, your old credit card to push elevator buttons. Use your elbows to open doors and do whatever you can to not pretty much touch anything outside. So, because we are in a pandemic at the moment. But anyway, thanks for watching. Stay safe there. See you later. Ciao for now.